I started to map my fonts in Embird, and I thought I would make a video on how I'm doing it, how I'm organizing things. Um, I'm basically working off of 1, 2, 3, 4 folders. This one is just little JPEGs of alphabets that I've gotten. It's basically like, I guess it would be considered another reference folder for the pics. Sometimes I put them in, sometimes I don't. But, so anyways, when I first get an alphabet, I'll just throw it into this folder, alphabets with a little um, underscore after it. I'm taking from it and putting it into these other folders that I'm working on. So if I go into this folder and I find, so I have it opened up over here, if I see a font that is full, in other words, from A to Z, then I'll take it out of this folder and I'll put it into alphabets full. And then from there, I'll pull the Jeffs out, because that's what I'm going to map because I have a Genome. I'll pull the Jeff ones out and I'll put them into this mapped folder. And then this is the folder that I'll have Embird look in to find the, the, the fonts that I want to map. So, um, so let me just go ahead and do one of them. I have my alphabet folder open, and I know that this is a full font, the Back to School Alpha. If I click on it, I have a couple zip files. I have a PES zip file, a Jeff zip file. It looks like I might have already mapped this one at some point because I have, this folder. But who knows? If there's not a text file in here, I probably did not map it. So you can see when I open it up, though, it's not separated by size. So there's a 1 4x4, 2 4x4, and so on, a 3 4x4. And the hoop goes up to 6x10. So it looks like there's 3 sizes in here. They're all Jeffs, but we still have to separate out the sizes. So those are our 3 sizes. So we're going to make a folder in here. But before we do, I just like to take the entire folder, Back to School Alpha, and move it to alphabets full. So I'm just going to take it and drag it over and wait for alphabets full down here. Wait for it to populate below so I know where I'm dropping it, and then let go. So here it is. So now we're in, let me close everything else. We're in alphabets full. Back to School, double click on it. And then I'm going to make 3 folders in here. So click inside here, 1, 2, 3. And what sizes did we have? So these are sized differently. They're 4x4, 5x7, and 6x10. So click on New Folder. Well, I'll just click here. Click again and Control C, New Folder, Control V, Back to School. uh, 4x4 Jeff. Control A, Control C, Control V, and this one is 5x7, Control V, and this one is 6x10. So now we'll open up this folder, and I'm just going to search for 4x4. So I'm going to come over here to the search, 4x4. There we go. Okay, so it didn't get them all, but it did get the numbers. So I'll click inside here in Control A, and then I'm just going to move them to 4x4. Okay, so it looks like it went. Let's click on here. My computer's lagging. Okay, so they all went in. So let's go back to this folder. Whoops, not that one, 4x4. This one down here. And let's click on 5x7. Click in here, Control A, move there. Okay, click back on here, click in here, back to school. Oh, so it does have the letters down here. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so 6x10. Okay, because the 6x10 and that's with the letters has a letter attached to it. That's not helpful for searching. Let's see. Let's just at least be consistent. 6x10 and get at least the numbers out. Control A. Okay. So that's going to make it more difficult. So I have to think because there's not a space between there. Okay. So now they're all in the alphabet's full. They're in this. They're still in this folder. But we're going to copy them now to the. Let me close this to the alphabets mapped folder. So I'm just opening it so it's already open. So click on Back to School Alpha over here. And these are the 3 folders that we're going to just hold our right mouse button, hover over Alphabets Map, make sure nothing else below it is going to populate, let go, copy. Okay, so here's our Back to School font now. Now we'll go and map this. So we'll go into Embird, delete that, insert ready-made alphabet, open to add folders, add folder. We're going to go into our mapped, alphabets mapped, back to school 4x4, okay. And there it is up there, add folder. Back to school 5 by 7. Whoops, I hit something. Hit enter or OK. And back to school 6 by 10. So our 3 back to schools are up here. And we have to click OK. And there's our first one. So the way this is mapped, the way this has to be mapped, the numbers are coming first. So you don't look at these small letters, you look at what the digitizer wrote. So the numbers are first, and then it's just the capital letters after that. So this one down here is wrong that I copied. The numbers part's okay, but this part isn't. So let's just go into Word. So we just got numbers and then all caps. So this one is similar. Control C, Control V. Home, Shift End, Control C, Alt Tab, select all that. Oops. Control V. Keep hitting my computer. Okay. So it's, oh, there's no 0 in this one. Okay. Because, you know, you can't have a 0. You're not 0 years old. So we have 1 through 9 and then the ABC. So now we're going to map it. So we click on this little tag and operation successful. That was the 6 by 10. And so you'll see if we go back to this folder now, back to school 6 by 10, there'll be a text file in there. Because when we hit this button here to map it, Embird made, and I'll show you, alphabets mapped back to school 6 by 10. See, Embird made this text file. And that's the file that Embird uses to know that this number coincides with this design. And it knows that because we told it here, so then Embird created this text file so that it knows every time. So it looks in this folder up here, you know, We Quilt Studios, Embird Design, Embroidery Designs, Not Mine, Alphabets Map, all these folders within, and then it's looking for this text file to actually know which one of these to pick. So that's the text file that gets created. So that's the 6 by 10. So now we'll go back and we'll pull up the 5 by 7 back to school. Okay, so the 5 by 7 is done. So back to school 4 by 4. And so you see now 1 and A don't go together, F and O don't go together, but when you hit map, successful, now 1 and 1, you know, F and F, Z and Z, everything matches. So that's how you map them. And so now each one of these folders has a text file in it. The 4 by 4 has a text, and the 5 by 7 has a text. I'd like to maybe do one more. Um, if you'll notice, I have my main alphabets that I throw everything into. Then I have reference alphabets few, reference alphabets full, and then my mapped folder. These are my two like working folders, and if I only have a few letters in an alphabet, I'll put that folder in this folder. So I'll go from here to the few. And there is one that I'll do now that's like that. And so I'm in just the main alphabets folder, and it's called Fable Alpha. And if I double click on it, you'll see um, my C's really don't even have a folder. And I have C, E, J, K, M, and N. That's all I have. So I'll just right here make a new folder called I'll just call it Fable. Fable. Um, and I do want to say that I only have a few. Few Jeff. I don't know how big this letter is, so let's just see. Let's hover over it. So it's about 3.92 inches tall, so I could call it 4-inch. 4-inch Jeff. So that'll be my folder, and I'll put the Jeffs in there. So I'll put the C in there. I'll just drag it up in there. I'll open up the E, and I'll bring this other one to the side. This is my folder I want to put it into. So these are my E's. Here's my Jeff. I'm just going to drag it over because it's still in the same main, in the same folder. Oops, Fable Few. Okay, so there's my E. Now I'll click up here. J. I'm gonna let me get this J in first. Jeff, J Jeff. And I'm gonna right click and rename this with a capital F because I'm having a hard time deciphering it. Rename. Okay. So I got the C, E, and the J. We'll do the K. And one more. Oh, two more. The MC. And now one more, the N. So I'm just dragging these over. So now we have a Jeff folder. I'm actually also going to rename it again. Having a hard time with this. Just a capital J, Jeff. Okay. So I'll just double click here so it opens here, this one, Oh wait, this was in the alphabets folder. This was in the main alphabets folder, so I forgot to take the entire folder over to the one that said view. So that's what I want to do, really. So right now it's in the main alphabets folder, and I just want to get the whole thing out of there. So I'm going to take the whole thing to, here's my main alphabets folder. I want to take it to this view folder. So I'm just going to drag it over, wait for it to populate, and then drop it in. So now from here, I'll double click on view. These are already in, these two. So this one, these two are already mapped. And this is, the entire, all of the files will be in here. This is analogous to alphabet full. Alphabet full and alphabet view. We'll have the entire alphabet, all the formats, rather I should say, not the entire alphabet, just it'll have all the formats. So I just want to grab the Jeff out of here, and I want to copy it, just the Jeff file, to the mapped folder. So hold my right mouse button. This is, oh boy. Okay, there we go. And just hover over it for a second and then let go. Copy here. Okay. Oops. Add folder, or add folder here. Fable. Okay. So there it is in the list. Hit OK. Now we have to map it. So, so cute. So we're not going to go to our Word template because we're just going to type them in. So we look at the digitizer's letters. So C is going to be mapped to this slot. So capital C, keep my caps lock on, C, E, J, K, M, and N. Make sure. Yeah, it was E. Okay, so got the letters in. Now we'll map it. Successful. So that one's mapped. Those are my two folders, my kind of working folders, reference folders as well. So if I ever want to see, well, do I have an alphabet, the full alphabet, or do I just have a few letters? If somebody would ever ask me, do you have the Fable alphabet, I just have to look in two places. I have to look in this folder and I'll be like, oh yeah, but if it's not there, then I'll just look in this folder and then I'll know it's full. So that's why I'm calling them reference folders. So here's a font, and I'm in Explorer on Windows 10, and it's called So Cute Alpha. It's 6-inch, and I created this folder in my mapped, alphabets mapped folder. And these are all the alphabets that I'm going to map or are mapped. So as soon as I put a folder in here, I go ahead and map it in Embird. So I kind of created a system. So I created this folder and I plopped in this folder all my Jeff Pluses from that alphabet. So there's uppercase and lowercase. So you can see the L lowercases are first in this folder, and then the uppercase A, B, C are following. And you don't see a text file or anything in here. This is just a raw folder, and it has my font in it that I want to put into Embird. So I have it all ready. I'm going to go into Editor now, insert ready-made alphabet text, click on the Add Folder. I add a folder that contains my alphabet. I scroll down to Alphabets Mapped, and it was called So Cute 6-inch. Select it and say OK. And so there it is there, So Cute. And then I just click OK. It's just in the list now. It's not mapped or anything yet. And I can prove it to you that it's not mapped yet because you can see small a is going with big A, small b is going with big B. It's not mapped. And as you get farther on, you can see, small z goes with big Z, and then, you've got punctuation here. So it's really off by the time we get to the capitals, to the uppercase. So it's not mapped. We have to map it. And to map it, you look at the digitizer's order, because this is the order that it's in the folder. In the folder, the small letters are coming first, if you recall. Small letters are coming first. So I have a bunch of templates where the small letters are, small letters come first, or the big letters come first, or the numbers come first, or whatever. And I just made a mapping template. So for that one, the small letters are coming first. Let's see. Here's the smalls, and here's the uppercase. So Shift N, Control C, go back to Editor, click down in the text, Control V, and there it is. So we're going to click Map now. And once we click Map, Operation successful. Now small a goes with small a, small b goes with small b, and so on all the way to Z. Capital A goes with capital A, all the way to Z. It's mapped. And if we go back to the folder now, you'll see the text document that got created as a result of mapping. And this is what a text document looks like. This is what a mapping looks like. I'm going to open this with WordPad, because that's how you open these text documents. If you don't have it, opening with WordPad, just right-click and do Open With. Choose another app. Always use this, and then select WordPad and open it. Click OK. And so this is what a mapping looks like. So these are instructions to Embird, and what it's saying is when the digitizer types in a small a, Embird, you go and look in the folder and look for this file. Look for the file that says My So Cute Boutique 6-inch lower la.jeff plus. That's the file you look for when she types in a lowercase a. Well, let's look at that file. So there it is. There's the file name, lowercase a, My So Cute Boutique 6-inch lower LA Jeff Plus. I could have searched for it up here, but you know, so that's what mapping is. It's an instruction. So when Embird offers us an update, and we go ahead and do the update, if you go to Insert Ready-Made Alphabet Text, when you click on this drop-down arrow, the only alphabet that will be in there is the one that Embird puts in by default. So when you click on this, all of these other ones will be gone from this list. Now they're not gone from your computer because you stored your ready-made alphabets in a separate folder other than the Embird folder that's in program files. So that's why we do that. And in addition, since you already mapped all your fonts, the text file is still in all of those folders. So you don't have to remap anything, but you do have to bring back each text file. So all you do then is you click on this open folder, but instead of clicking add folder now, you add text or zip file. And so we're going to add a text, and if it's not saying text, if it's saying zip or all or whatever, just click on text here. And that's not the one we want, obviously. We want the one that's in my Embird mapped folder. So here's all my alphabets that I've mapped, and they all have text files in them because I mapped them a long time ago. And I was just putting in my text files. So I stopped at this one, Pistoia 4-inch. So now I'll click on the 5-inch or double click or open. And there's my text. It should be the only text in that folder. And then I'll just click open or enter. And there it is, the 5-inch. So it's a text file, but it's totally workable because these are the instructions. So it'll work. So if I click OK, and there it is. And it's already mapped. The 0 is to the 0 and the 1 and so on because I mapped this a while ago. So the text instructions are working. So when I type in 0, the text instructions tell Embird to look in the folder for the design, because remember, these are just designs. And remember, a design is a stitch file. So when we type in, say, a 0, Embird has instructions in the text file to look for the design called 0 or whatever the digitizer called it. Let's see what the digitizer called this 0 design. So we'll go ahead and navigate to the folder, and all our mapped fonts are in Alphabets Mapped. That's the folder that I created. And here it is over here on the left side of Windows Explorer. And Pistoia 5-inch is the one that we are looking for. So I'll just click on it. And here is the design called 0. If I hover, you can see it's called 0.jeff. And since I have Iconizer, I can right click and you can see here it's called 0.jeff. So that's what the digitizer is calling this design. So let's see what the text instructions say. And you could probably guess. Here's the text file down here. Right click, open with WordPad if you don't already. So here's the instructions. So when you type in a 0, Embird is supposed to look for the file 0.jeff. Remember, this file is just a stitch file, just like any other design. It's got a .jeff after it. So Embird looks in this folder for the file called 0.jeff and it plops it on the screen for you. So that's how the text file works. So when you have to do an update for, for Embird, you really just have to bring back the text file. The text file is already in the folder, and the text file is instructions to Embird on where to find this design in this folder. So that's all you have to do. So Pistoia 5" is done, so I'll open again and I'll go to my next zip, or not zip, but text file. Add text. This should still already be there, and it shows me here the last one I did. So I'll go back to alphabets mapped, scroll down. This is my next one, open. The text will be right away. It'll be the only one showing because that's what I'm asking for. Click it, hit enter, and there it is. So here's my pretty font, 1 inch. And I'll just keep adding them. Just go down to the 2 inch, open. Whoops, I hit OK, and it's looking for the 1 inch. You have to click on it and then hit OK on your keyboard or what have you. So there's the pretty font, the 2 inch. Go back, the 3 inch, open, enter, and I'll just keep adding them. Alphabets, 4 inch, open, open. And the 4 inches on, add text. Five inch, enter. 6 inch, open, click it, open or enter. And so, I mean, unless you have a lot of fonts, you could get through this pretty quickly. And if you don't use them all that often, I would just do the ones that you use more often. You could always just take one of the sizes and then come back and, open the text file for a different size if it's a font you really like. So, so now I'm on the pretty princess. And you can see I have several sizes. Well, I just have to get the 1 inch. I could go right to the round. But I don't have that many done. I have so many other ones that I never even did. I mostly use Font Engine in Studio, but it's nice to have these. Some of them are really cute, and some of them are over digitized, too bomb proof, but I could see what this one looks like. See, I can see already I don't even like it. So I probably would delete all of those. In fact, I think I will. So I'll remove it from the list, add text. So I'll just delete these while I'm here. No, I don't like them. Okay. So let's go ahead and just load one of the fonts that we just installed, using the text file. And it was one of these last ones here that we should choose from. So I'll just choose the last one we put in. So it's deleting the old one that I had in, and then it installs the new one. They're just temporary files for right now, when you're using them. So here it is, Swirly Whirly. And I think off camera I deleted the Winter Wonderland because when I looked at it, some of the letters didn't even have tie-offs, and I don't want to deal with that. That is one thing you do have to watch out for when you buy purchased fonts, or when you purchase fonts. Uh, they're supposed to come already with tie-offs and everything, and you really kind of want them to come with tie-offs because when you're buying a purchased font, you generally don't have a lot of control over it, so it's better just to have the tie-off on there to begin with, or else make a note that they don't have tie-offs and that you have to tell editor to install tie-offs. But this particular font, the Winter Wonderland, some of them had tie-offs and some of them didn't. So it was inconsistent. So I just didn't want to deal with it. I don't use these much anyways. But so anyway, so here's Swirly Whirly. And I'll just type in happy. So this was the 1-inch font. And if you go to the Properties tab, it's going to say it's a different number than 1 inch generally because it's measuring the whole word that you just typed in. So, it's coming in some unrelated number. And then the width, of course, is the width of the whole word. If you go into the Layout tab, you'll see that you do have some work to do. I wouldn't bother doing it in here because you can align it better once you get to the main screen on Editor. So I would just click OK. You don't want to mess with the density either. Unless it's really, really tight, you could have. Let me go back. On this Properties tab, you could have messed with the stitch density. If you saw that it was too tight, you could set this to 5 or whatever. But generally, you kind of want to see it first. Now, I've noticed that does happen when you click on stitch density, and then when you go to the Layout tab, it's blank. So I think if you just go to the Insert tab and then the Layout tab, then it generates it again. But at any rate, so just kind of leave it as is and fix it once we get to the Editor screen. And click OK. And we got 2 of them now. Let me just delete that. Okay. So they'll come in like this. And, they'll come in all selected. And if you want to see where the jumps are, then you can join them while they're selected. So click the join, and now it's showing me my jumps and everything because I'm in normal view or stitches view. So from here, you know, this, I would never use this because of the way it was digitized. They're ending in the wrong places. If this is a cursive font, it should end up here so that it could be connected. You know, this A should end up here, and so on and so on. So, but at any rate, what you would do, separate all colors, and I would click the A, hold Shift, click the Y, and come down here in the alignment tool, click that, align the tops, leave the horizontal the same, and so I'll hold Control and I'll move that one. I moved that one a little. Okay, hold Control and move it. Hold Control. Oops. Select that one. Hold Control. Okay. So now we'll hold Shift and select them all. We'll bring a baseline down to about there, because I'm assuming this has to go under the baseline, and this is the baseline. And I have guidelines, snap objects to guidelines checked. So when I move these, oops, select them again, they snap. And then I'll move that close, since I know that one is right close there. And so you could leave it like that, and you know, you even leave this one being a jump if you wanted. Control A, because when you join them, you know, I could get rid of that jump, but it doesn't even really matter because the tie off is still there. I mean, you can go ahead, yes, and you know, get rid of the tie off so it looks prettier there, but you know, it's just more work. So here's what you could do. You know, that's the jump though there. So instead of right clicking and removing all jumps and replacing with floating, insert, remove codes, remove all jumps and replace with, sorry, remove all floating or jumps and replace with running. Instead of doing that, just delete the one jump, because you're going to keep all the rest of them because it was digitized so poorly. So I would just get rid of the jump right here. There's the jump in red. There's the letter, and then there's the jump. So just right click, delete item. But, you know, you're still left with a line there now. Now you're going to see it in 3D, and you see that. It just looks so bad. So, I mean, what I would do, first off, I would come over here and click on one of these nodes and hit Tab. Okay, now I'm there. Now Shift Tab to go backwards. There's the trim. Okay, delete that node. Click on the trim again and Shift Tab. Delete that node. And then all those middle nodes are gone, I think. Let's And so now click on the trim, hit tab, but now shift tab backwards, just so you know where you're at. Right click, insert, and then insert a stitch point. Well, it's snapping to guideline now. So, oops. Okay, I'll just snap, do it again. So then there you go. And then this digitizer, what I noticed is when I hit tab, their tie-on is, in my opinion, incorrect. You could really lock up your machine. He does like 3 or 4 stitches in the same spot. So shift tab, shift tab. Okay, I'm down there. Now if I hit tab, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 4 stitches in the same spot. That's really not correct. You know, but what are you going to do? Go through every one of these and, you know, separate them like this. You can see now where they're going. Control Z. And, you know, yeah, you can put it on top like that to make them go back and forth and then jump. But you're not going to go and do that to every letter. So that's just another thing about the, you know, when you purchase a font. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I hope I've helped you. And feel free to contact me anytime if you have any questions. My name is Lisa WeQuilt on Facebook, and feel free to visit my website, wequiltstudio.com, for more tutorials, one-on-one Skype lessons, and just lots of fun things. And feel free to join my Patreon group where I'm planning to have just a nice social Embird type of community. So that's always been my dream, and I can't wait to share it with you all. Thanks a lot.